1, 2,
Welcome to the Mental Reps podcast, featuring your host, Brian Wright.
All right, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Our guest this episode is comedian and writer, Ian Edwards.
Just love, man. If I could just...
Oh, dude, you're like a fucking Care Bear,
love.
bro. What an answer. Dude, you're saying you're a Care Bear.
This week's episode is sponsored by the Field Irish Pub and Eatery, a little piece of island in South Florida, as well as elite sanitizing services, keeping South Florida clean and in business.
I just want to make people feel good when they're around me.
I love
If I
that.
could do that all the time, what other power is greater than that? You know what I mean?
Now fade out that fresh as beat, and let's get this bitch on the road.
Welcome to Mental Reps Podcast. I'm Brian Wright. Hello. What is happening, everybody? I hope you are happy and healthy. Thank you so much for watching and listening, sharing with your friends. I missed you guys. I've had a ton going on in my life lately. Sorry, it's been a little crazy. The events are back and better than ever, so I've been really busy with those. I just signed some papers to move into a new spot with my girlfriend. A little stressed out because I am super busy, but it's like a good stressed out, so I'm enjoying it. I have a lot to do, which I like, and that's better than the alternative, right? So at least in my opinion. So things are good for me. I hope things are going really well for you as well, and thank you so much for listening again. We've got a lot to get to. Before we do, I just wanted to say, if you can, do me a favor and go pull up the old browser on the phone or computer right now. Go check out the new and improved mentalreps.net. We're giving away 50% of the proceeds from our merch sales to Neighbors for Neighbors. Really awesome local nonprofit here in South Florida, doing amazing things for people in need. They're not limited to like one cause, which I like because there's so much stuff going on and people that need their help. So they're working really hard to bring some like peace of mind to people who really need it, and I can get behind that a lot, and I want to help them out. You can find out more about them at our About page with links to the websites. You can donate or volunteer, and again, mentalreps.net is the spot. You'll be helping out the podcast, also contributing to a great cause. Also, please go check out and contribute to our new Patreon page for Mental Reps Podcast. It's finally up. For those of you who don't know, this is a way you can support the podcast. Help me pay the monthly expenses and shit, but you get a lot in return. I'm giving out exclusive content, personalized shout outs in the podcast for the lower tier members, all the way up to yearly like one-on-one interviews to be released on all my platforms for like the God tier members. I have tiers starting as low as $3 a month, so I'm gonna start having those monthly streamcasts and the mid-tier members as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and whoever can go out, spare a few bucks a month, support me, it just means the fucking world to me. And I have to give an extra special shout out to our very first Patreon, Frank Rogers, or I think he's okay with me saying his last name. I wouldn't otherwise. He's turned out to be a buddy. I ran into him at the very first Mental Reps Live podcast, and he's been a supporter from the jump, and he's turned out to be a friend and a buddy. He's actually been a PA on a couple of my comedy shows. This guy goes out and goes to more comedy shows than I do in South Florida. He is an avid comedy fan, and Frank is a good dude, and he's supporting the podcast. He's our very first Patreon, so a special shout out to him. And again, if you can go to our Patreon page, it's just go to patreon.com/mentalrepspodcast or search Mental Reps Podcast and you'll be able to see us there. Or you can go and find the link up at mentalreps.net as well. My guest today is a hilarious national headlining comedian. He's been a guest on Conan O'Brien, Joe Rogan Experience, What the Fuck with Marc, Maron, I think Adam Corrolla Show, Opie and Anthony, a bunch more. Written on Blackish 2, Two Broke Girls and Crashing. Very gifted writer. This guy's fucking hilarious. He's been on Punk'd. He even helped out on Boondocks back in the day. He's got like all the accolades. Really, really incredible career. But he's also just a super laid back, chill dude. I like him a lot. He's like into soccer. He's got a soccer Comic Rant podcast he has with a few of his buddies. We got into sports for a little bit. I've been trying to nail him down for a while, but we kept having issues with scheduling it. And but I don't want to say too much about it. I just wanted you to give it a listen and tell me what you think in the comments, or email me mentalrepspodcast@gmail.com. Go check him out at ianedwardscomedian.com, or find him on the socials at Ian Edwards Comic. I really enjoyed this one, and take a nice swan dive right here into my chat with the hilarious Ian Edwards. But first, we have a live podcast coming up at the home of our official sponsor, South Florida's authentic Irish pub and eatery, The Field, this Tuesday, May 4th. It's that little piece of island right here in South Florida on Griffin Road. Dr. Anna Lepley, author of Beer is Good For You, will be on the show. She's also a very funny comedian. Really looking forward to chopping it up with her. We'll also be joined by my buddy and ex-coworker from radio station. He's a Miami Hurricane alum and served as a punter, one of the best in the country. He's a good man, and we're going to get in an NFL draft a little bit. It's going to be fun. My man Brian Monroe, and really hope that you guys can make it out there. And while we're there, you can enjoy the multiple bars. Guinness, Smithwick's, much more on tap. But the best Irish-American cuisine in South Florida, in my humble opinion, that's what puts them over the top. They got the classics like the shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, the corned beef cabbage, Irish potato soup, but they also got steaks, chops, fresh seafood, and vegan options. So no excuses for your emaciated fedora-wearing friends. Another clincher, live music Wednesday through Sunday. Lots of Irish music. I've taken over their Tuesday nights, and they just have like the best staff you could ever ask for. As a matter of fact, I was doing an event there a couple days ago, and Stephanie, one of the servers there, she's been there for about 10 years. And she is going through a tough time right now. She's battling breast cancer, double mastectomy. She's got 2 young kids, 3 and 6 years old. And all the servers, bartenders, busboys, everybody gave all of their tips to Steph to make sure that she could stay home, heal up, and not have anything to worry about bills-wise. They've been doing that, I think, for like the last week or so. We raised over $1,000 for her just that one night behind the bar. That's not even including the servers. And I know that they've been doing that. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. They're just awesome fucking people, and they take care of everybody there. That's the type of people that you're going to run into if you go to the field. They are going to take care of you. That's a guarantee from me. And if you're going to stay in, don't sweat. Go to thefieldfl.com, enter code word reps20, and get 20% off your entire online order. Again, that's thefieldfl.com, code word reps20. I have a bunch of events coming up planned at the field, including a live podcast this upcoming Tuesday, May 4th. Like I said, the live comedy night, May 18th, Shamrock Comedy Club. As well, again, I'm there every Tuesday, as well as a few other events, Township, downtown Fort Lauderdale. So keep an eye on my social media pages, at BMW On Air, my Brian Wright On Air Facebook page in particular. You'll find all the upcoming events there and shows on my events page. So please go check it out. Another huge thank you to Elite Sanitizing Services. If you're looking for local sanitizing services here in South Florida, call ESS. They're great people, state licensed, insured, offering local sanitizing services, which kills 99.9% of all bacterias and viruses, including that damn COVID-19. And they clean anything from cars, yachts, planes, your home, businesses. It's like you're running them through a big Purell machine, and they're offering free sanitizing to vehicles of all medical professionals. I think that that's really cool. And if you have any questions or just want an estimate, give them a call 24/7, 954-663-5836, or go to elitesanitize.com. Elite Sanitizing Services, keeping South Florida safe and in business. All right. Thanks for hanging in through the sponsors, but I think it's good shit, good people I'm representing. I hope you guys are taking advantage of that. All right, on to my conversation. I really hope you guys dig this one with the hilarious Ian Edwards. Welcome to Mental Reps Podcast. This is my dude, Ian Edwards. Been trying to get you on the podcast for a while. Really appreciate you coming on, dude. How you been, man?
Oh, good, man. Just chilling.
Chilling.
I'm in my car in the parking lot of a Starbucks in California. So, yeah.
Shit, dude. I like that interior, though. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good... I know the interior of my car is a good podcast studio.
Yeah, man. Dude, what's going on out there in California? So let's get into it, dude. What's happening? Like, what's the experience like out there in California as a comedian or just a person in general? Are you going to stay there? Or are you planning on hitting the road?
Yeah, I'm staying here for now. Yeah. I mean, it's open back fine. I was out last night. I've been out all week, everything's not 100% open, but it's open, and people are coming back more and more every day. And there's countries in Europe that ain't open.
Yeah,
like we're way more open. Canada's not open.
Yeah.
So, California is not as bad as, like, I guess compared to other states. They're like, why isn't California open? But America is more open than a ton of places.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
India's having problems, so
not everybody can be New Zealand and shit. Or didn't they even it came back there? They were like,
it came back. They had a huge 2 cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we live in South Florida, so it's like, obviously down here, it's like we have our own little country down here. We're us in Texas. Exactly. We're like, fuck everybody else, dude. We're gonna open back up, man.
Yeah, you Texas and Phoenix.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right about that. Phoenix. I heard them as well. Dude.
I mean, Arizona. Yeah.
It's funny. My life, obviously it's changed a lot in the last year, but it hasn't changed that much in the sense that, doing work and having events. Like for a couple months, I had to stop doing events and shit. I put on comedy shows and other shit down here, and we had to stop. But come like July, we pretty much like open it back up to people if they wanted to, and they wanted to wear the mask 6 feet apart, like all those social distancing and all that. But we kind of been still doing our thing, like, so compared to California and places like New York and, like you said, even all over the world, it's kind of like I'm just kind of looking out. Like I completely understand why everybody's so freaked out, but my life hasn't changed that much as a result of all this. And the world keeps on turning, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how far you gotta go to make people feel comfortable or be safe.
Yeah, don't ask me. I don't know. I just know if you live in Florida, the pandemic didn't happen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing, is being surrounded by so many people who are like, I know my fucking rights, and like, we're not going to get shut down. And like, I do kind of agree with them, but at the same time, I understand everybody wanting to fucking chill. So how have you been doing like during this whole process, man? Like, how's your life changed, or how much is it not changed? You just keep on doing your thing, or what?
Some things got changed. Like I wrote on a show, but we did it over Zoom. So I never left the house. So that was the first time doing that. And then stand-up has been like completely outside shows. And to be honest, I even did an outside show at the beach, and it was really good. So for the most part, the outside shows have been really good and refreshing, and a nice switch up, and I hope they continue. And then it was good to take a break at the beginning. Then it got, the pandemic like extended and got long and monotonous a little bit. But now that it's kind of ending, I kind of miss it. Like traffic is back. Who needs that? California traffic is notorious. So
South Florida as well, dude. I feel you on that.
Yeah, so who needs that? And as soon as the country opened back up, they got mass shootings right away. It's like somebody couldn't wait for the pandemic to be over, to like to go to their factory and shoot people. Dude. It's like, so
that's sort of like the mental aspect.
There's some things, we this country, it's a great country, but we could be better. You know what I mean? We could stop talking that great shit and like go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's go for it. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's change the educational system, stop raising racists, and create a better understanding from like school of everyone, and stop throwing people in jail unnecessarily. Who could be people that could come up with medical procedures that could save the people who are throwing them in jail? Let's just stop all the bullshit. Let's go for the greatness. Like, what do we have to lose? Aliens are going to be here soon.
Yeah, bro. Dude, like, you see Pentagon, and the people, they're already here.
Yeah, they've been here.
Yeah, so dude, that's
like, what are we doing?
I agree, man. I agree. There's like some crazy shit going on, and I worked news for a while, for a couple of years. I used to be like a news anchor, and just being inundated with all that shit all the time. And it's too much. I couldn't handle it because it's like you're being shown the worst of humanity, and I like to try and celebrate like the good shit that's going on and the good people, and you don't hear enough about that. And it seems like all this gloom and doom shit, it's taking a toll on people's psyche. I mean, I think people are like don't know what to believe, and all the fucking people out there are telling lies and shit, and all the agendas. It's fucking exhausting, dude. People are kind of just over it.
That's what like meditation. I don't mean to sound hokey pokey, but everybody's born with intuition and their gut instincts. Like that's just something, a God-given thing that we're all given. And we're out here watching the news, on the internet, paying attention to everything except the real answer that we have within us. And we need to refocus and get back to that.
Ooh,
and everything will be fine.
I like that, dude. You're so right about that, man. Like it's we've definitely grown apart from what it is
ourselves.
To be a human being. Like we don't have even like with men, just like example of men, we don't have like an initiation sort of period or whatever, like to prove ourselves or become like, I don't, and same for women. It just seems like everybody's kind of floating around, and people like answers are being withheld to keep people lost, and kind of like consumers just flopping around,
Yeah, we know the entities that are doing that. We still pay attention to it. So it's like, let's just, you can only the truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
about that.
why are we looking for it from somewhere and from other places? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, dude, I totally. People just really thinking like, oh, this one person, as long as they get in office, everything's gonna be okay, and they're gonna fix something. Oh my God, my heart hurts for you. So, dude, I wanted to like ask you before we get on too much of this. I mean, everybody's been talking about the pandemic nonstop. So I wanted to ask you really quick because, I mean, I was born and raised here in South Florida. Outside of moving to Asheville, North Carolina for a couple years, I've lived here my whole life. And I know that you were born in England, raised in Jamaica, before your family moved here to the U.S., like New York, right? So I just wanted to ask, like, what the timeline and circumstances were that led to your family making these like huge moves in life.
My parents are Jamaican, and there was a time when, and England used to, Jamaica used to be a British colony. So there was a time where they just had people from all their colonies or former colonies move to England to supply like labor and get jobs. So that's why there's like Pakistani families, Indian families, West Indian families, African families, like all types of nationalities are in England, because those are a lot of the places that they colonized. It's not the only people there, but, including English people and other people, but that's how my parents got there to, get jobs and, make a living. And then after a while, they wanted to move back to Jamaica. So we moved back to Jamaica, we was there. And then after that, moved to New York for like a new chapter.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Okay, so no wonder you got like this crazy work ethic from mom and dad. Like, and I know that you used to work like you used to like flip burgers and shit, right? Were they like when you became age, they're like, you're gonna get a job, motherfucker?
No, I just did that automatically. I just wanted to be able to have some money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. My parents were too broke to give us an allowance, but they let us believe we were too broke to get an allowance. So we had to go make our own allowance. You know what I mean? So I think first thing I did, I took the lawnmower my mother got us a place in Long Island, Uniondale. I went to high school there. But the first thing I did once we got our lawnmower, I just took that shit around to the neighborhoods and anybody's yard that had like tall grass and they didn't have like a weekly gardener. I just knock on the door and establish a relationship with them and then mow their lawn. So then I just have some money in my pocket. I bought my first bike. It was used from a guy outside of a corner store who probably stole that shit. But
yeah.
I never had any problems once I bought it. I just bought it from him. And then that was my mode of transportation. And just got into American society and started trying to, make some money. My brother was working at Burger King because he moved here like a year before I did, so he hooked me up with the job down there. So once I got that,
What
I
was your
stopped
job
mowing the
there?
lawn. Just everything.
Everything, mopping.
Sometimes register, mopping, night porter, making burgers, big Whoppers, eating food in the back, joking around, laughing,
Oh yeah.
taking orders on the drive-through, everything, man.
Oh, that's cool. So you got the whole experience and shit.
Yeah,
Well,
I used to live in that place.
how did that transition into comedy? When did you start doing comedy?
Well, just I feel like moving to America and you're 17, you have to kind of start over. Even you're not even like the black people that are here. Like it's you grew up with some of the same things, but there's some things that are like different, like food, sports, music, just shit that if you move to any town, you could just have a conversation with people about and they know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't have those things. So then, you know,
You were
I
talking
used to
about
listen to
Pele and shit. They were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So whatever they're listening to on the radio, I got to start listening to it and getting to know and getting familiar with all these bands, you know, whether hip hop, rock, R&B. Like we had R&B and we had some rap, but there's a lot of shit we didn't have in Jamaica. And so you had to like, it was a great time of discovery and like figuring out how to like plant my feet here and become a person here. And there was one guy that worked at Burger King. He actually went to my high school. He was a year ahead of me. His name was Greg Ellis. And he was just, first of all, he's talented. He could sing. Yeah, shout out to Greg. He's talented. He could sing. And he even had a fucking song on the radio that at the time. And he still worked at Burger King. He's hilarious. But the thing about Greg, he was it wasn't a major hit, but he had it on the radio, so it's just kind of crazy.
No, dude, that's not easy.
Listening to Greg's song on the radio while we're working in the back.
Yeah, you're at Burger King, like what kind of fucking...
Yeah. So that's like, I guess without even realizing it, then like the first touch with any possibility of entertainment. But the thing with Greg, he was funny, and whenever you worked with Greg, time went faster. Yeah. And we'd just be rolling back there, and I'm like, shit, like. I realized that just being like moving here, I kind of got like stunned, like a deer in headlights. It was kind of frozen, didn't know what to do, how to react. But as soon as I saw him being funny, it resonated with me. I said, that's universal. I can do that. I can tap into my funny side and open up and explore life through being funny. So I just started joking around and clowning around, and that made things go easier and time go faster, and just the shit was just more fun. And then one day I was even taking orders on the drive-through, and some customer, I took his order, I was just joking around. I was doing something probably considered hacky now, some bad accent. And then a guy came around, he said, hey, was that you that took my order? I said, yeah. And he's like, yo, man, you're funny, man, you should be a comic. And as soon as he said that, I don't know what this guy looks like. I never met him. As far as I know, after that, he just said that. I gave him his food. But as soon as he said it, I was like, shit, I'm going to be a comic. I knew that's what I was, weirdly, that's just going to do for the rest of my life. You know?
Awesome, dude. I love it. And then you apply the work ethic to that, so you could see how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, I had to. I sucked. So I had to.
Dude, but that's how like
I didn't want to be terrible for forever. So I was like, man, so let me take these lumps.
Exactly
and,
right.
Get funny. Yeah.
That's what young people need to hear though, man. If they want
there's a lot
success.
Of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, times have changed. So young people can get successful without being like their ultimate funny now. So it's like, you know, you have to like decide, it just is what it is. Shit has changed, and you can't blame them if it's changed. I can't ask young people to operate the way we did back then. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is now. You know, but back then you just, tried to be, funny. Just and try to get funny, learn. And it was just fun, even bombing, but still being at a show and hanging out with a bunch of funny people afterwards, and going to see other professional comics come to town. And the Comedy Club Governors, which was my main club at the time, let me come by on the weekends and see national headliners, like people who are on TV. And just to be able to do that on a weekend when people my age or friends from high school, I don't know what they were doing, but that's what I was doing. I was like seeing like some of the biggest names from TV for free on the weekend. And then the more I did it, sometimes the club would just say, I want you to host this weekend for this guy, for that guy. It's like people that I grew up watching on TV. And I was like, oh shit. So it was fun. There's some things I missed out on, but it didn't feel like that then. Maybe in retrospect, like I put so much time into it, but I put so much time into it because the shit was fun and I loved it.
Dude, I really appreciate that, man, because I when I was brought up, I had this kind of like entrepreneurial kind of thing that just lived inside of me. I got it from my pops. He was a general contractor, very successful. But I was like, I'm gonna go a different route. Started working at American Express when I was like 18, became like second best salesperson in the country really fast. And then I started my own company, and I was engaged to get married, and was just like, we ended up breaking up, and I was like, man, I just don't
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And it's just in the nick of time too. And I was like, you know what, man, I got like a new leaf I could turn here and make a whole change in my life. Like, I don't like what I'm doing. I mean, I'm making good money, but like, I don't look forward to it at all. And I was like 24, 25, and I was like, fuck it. Sold whatever I had left of my business. We broke up. I put myself into a broadcasting school, and like I got into radio, of course, like one of the worst industries you could possibly get into, looking back in retrospect, but it was something I always wanted to do. And I made all these fucking sacrifices, dude, money wise, financial wise, everything wise. And to see when when those compromises and those sacrifices, they come to fruition, like, and you start to see like, okay, you were building something real this whole time. Because sometimes you can get a little lost, and like you said, you're figuring it out. You got to fail and fail better. And a lot of people really scared to go through that process because, ego and not wanting to put themselves, set themselves up for failure. But that's part of the thing. If you want to build anything real that's of substance, that like you can carry with you, and you get yourself on a path, like it's going to take some sacrifice. And I think young people need to hear a little bit. It's okay to fucking be broke for a couple years if you have to make that sacrifice for the greater
builds character. And is it a sacrifice if you're in love? If it's a sacrifice,
right.
If having money doing something else would make you miserable, I feel like that is a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your life for like money,
right.
like, because as long as you have hope, you feel like you got the money anyway, or that it's coming. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a let's say a square person's life where you just have a regular job, you get your money at the end of the week, but for 30 years or whatever, which that doesn't even exist anymore.
I know.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, there's been several recessions, and I've done better handling those recessions because of just the way comedy and the flow of comedy money works. So or doesn't work. You just get used to like not having a weekly thing, but you always, depending on how you do it, always get better, and you're always going to move up and make more money up until a certain time, or for maybe a longer window than some people in other jobs. There's people like 10 years ago, you get fired from your 20-year job. How do you get a job that pays that much again when there's younger people coming into the workforce? So like the people who thought I was crazy, or anybody's crazy for entering show business, and being like, this is such a insecure or unsure business. Are you sure you're going to be able to make it? Like, you can turn around and ask them the same question. Are you sure you're going to make it with this 9 to 5? This companies be going belly up, be trying to appease stockholders.
Pensions are flying out the window.
Pensions are flying out the window. It's like nothing is guaranteed. So fuck it, might as well go for it.
Absolutely, dude. Like, take that leap, and that could be whatever it is. If you want to open up a fucking laundromat, if that's your fucking dream, go for it. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
But I like that. I think that's good for like younger people to hear. I wanted to ask you because you've done some amazing things in your career. Like, anybody can go look them up. Like, you have all the credits. I don't want to like just go piece by piece. But one thing I wanted to ask you about your special 100% half-assed, which ended up being Conan O'Brien's like first comedy that he released through his record label, right? And and you were like the first comic signed to it, and Conan's my man, dude. That's my guy. So I wanted to ask you about that and how that relationship kind of started and how that all came about, because the special is fucking hilarious. Anybody needs to go and check that out if they haven't seen it already. But how did that all happen?
Oh, thanks. I wanted to record an album, you know. I wanted to record an album. I felt like more people were watching specials, and specials do blow people up. But for some reason, I'm always trying to think, what can I do that's different from what everybody else is doing at the time? And for some reason, so I'd done Conan like 2 or 3 times, done really good on it. This the talent booker, JP Book.
What a name for a booker.
Yeah, really likes my comedy. And there's some jokes that I did on the show that Conan really liked. And just,
dude, that Al Sharpton Hulk Hogan joke, I legit like spit out when I've heard that shit the first time. I was like, what? Dude, so writing is so on point, dude.
Oh, thanks. So then I was sitting in the green room to tape another episode of Conan, and JP's like, hey man, we're thinking about starting a record label and want to know if you're interested in, like, doing an album with us. I said, yeah, I've been trying to get the shit together to do an album. So the timing of them and where they were and where I was perfect. And then, we just did it. I think we did it 2015, or it came out 2016, but I can't remember. I think we taped it in 2016 and released it in 2016.
Dude, it's such a good special, man. I really have to like reiterate, because I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this have seen, but for those who don't, like, you really need to go check out this guy's comedy. Like, I really believe, I know that people have put it out there besides me, but you are one of the most underrated comedians in the country. Like, your writing is so on point, and your delivery, like, just that 5-minute, I think it might have been the first time I saw you, which was on Conan. And I was like, that is like one of the tightest 5s I've ever seen on a late night show. There was 0 fat on that shit. I mean, it was beautiful. And I was like, and that's kind of when you got on my radar. And then I started seeing you on Rogan, and he was bringing you out on the road and stuff. But yeah, man, anybody's got to go and check out your comedy if they haven't. What's like your favorite city or state to perform in? I mean, I know that especially now.
Right now, because of the virus, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere until, this shit is all straightened out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I feel you.
Yeah, that's just me. Everybody can do it the way they want to do it. I would never try to force somebody to do to do things my way. I'm gonna just
like
chill,
Rogan, take your vitamins and keep
perform
moving.
Here. Yeah. And I do try to stay healthy, and I believe in that part of it. Like, and it's so weird that his show during the beginning of the pandemic, like, even now, or maybe I'm wrong, but like, they never updated you on how to avoid the coronavirus. It was always just wash your hands, drink water, don't put your hand in your face. And I don't know if those websites ever that, were trying to like save all these lives that were said like, eat healthy, eat this, take this, and it's like you got to tell people that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
So why
that
is
goes
Rogan's
against our
podcast
country.
telling you? Why is Rogan's podcast telling you that? Which thank God he wasn't other people. It's like, well, you would think that shit would be on the front page of the CDC and all those other things. It's like,
this is
come
what I
on, man.
learned in news, man, is that they won't, because that shit goes against the general narrative, which is they want people to consume. And if you start telling people,
They want people to die.
yeah, they
It's-
absolutely do. And that's
They
the
want
thing.
people to die.
But also the medical
Because that's all
industry in this
consuming
country.
does.
Dude, if everybody was healthy, the medical industry, big pharma, all these things, it all is connected, dude.
But
And there's
I know it's all connected, but you could probably make more money from life. You know what I mean? Like
it's
it's
short-sighted.
like,
Absolutely.
it's short-sighted. You want people to be dependent on you, but people are dependent, period. So if you got some good shit, they'll be spending their money on your good shit. You don't have to sell us bad shit.
Dude,
Like, we'll buy some good shit. So if you want to make some money, sell some good shit. Stop cutting corners so you can make more money. Your customers are gonna die sooner. Like, how about you have them live longer and spend more money over a longer period of time? I don't know how finances work. Fuck it. But that's just my guess.
dude,
You know?
I get it. Yeah, I'm not like a global economist or anything, but like it
Yeah,
seems pretty
that word.
straightforward to me.
Yeah.
Like I agree. I totally agree. I don't know, man. That, like you said, it's weird that there aren't, that's kind of, it's very disconcerting, especially seeing from the inside. Like I got to peek kind of behind the curtain and see how the sausage was made. Like it is not good, dude. It
That's why I don't fuck
sucks.
with sausage, bro.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. But okay, like a couple more things, just because I wanted to talk to you about some sports, man. I know that you're like a big soccer guy, but
Uh-huh.
I thought about this, and because one of the things I've tried stand up before, but out of respect for comedians, I don't call myself a stand up because I haven't pursued it like you guys, and it's an art form, and I really respect it, and it's hard, and I enjoy it very much. But one of the main reasons I even considered getting into it in the first place was so you could have good company and hang around other comedians. The late night hang is what I would do it for, literally probably more than arguably any other reason. And I wanted to ask you, you've been able to sit down and talk with, like, some legends like Rogan and Maron and Corrolla, Opie and Anthony and all of them. I got to sit with Duncan Trussell once after he was opening for Rogan down here, and he was cool enough. Like, I came from the station and he was like, let's talk, man. And he sat down with me and we were talking. Dude, I could talk to that guy for days. Like, who, and I know you knew the beautiful Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace. Who's your favorite person to talk to, whether it be in a podcast setting or just chilling?
Yeah, it's not like a song or anything or your favorite movie. It's just everybody offers so many different things, like, especially when Patrice died, I'm like, who the fuck am I going to talk to about like a lot of shit? Because Patrice just had answers. Like any issue you had and you brought it up, and it didn't just have to be about comedy. That motherfucker would just have the answer, man. I was like, how the fuck did he know that shit? So then that void was created, but at the same time, it was like, I was like, you were lucky enough to be around this smart ass person. And that's a funny thing about comedy. Like, that's something I would never have expected. Like what people I've known when they first started in comedy, what they've turned into, like what Rogan has turned into, and just doing sets with him in New York decades before what he is now. And like, he's this fountain of information, but that I knew from way back when, but I knew he had something. I was like, because the material he was doing, I was like, how the fuck did he come? And I told him this before. How did you come up with that? And I would never ask him, but I was like I was struggling. I was just like, trying to get better, and it just felt effortless to him. So he had this level of intelligence or desire to find things out that I didn't understand yet, that I
Curiosity.
knew. I was like, all right, I have to get to this level, but and I'm not there, but at least now by hanging out, I know it exists, you know, like, and then just going back to like when I lived in New York, sitting at the diner tables, whether in a Comedy Cellar or wherever, with like Bill Burr, Norton, Patrice, and you just name it, like all these people. Some of them are famous and some of them are not, but it's just supposed to be comedy. You're not gonna. There's no way you could guess you're gonna be around some of the greatest just minds. Period. You know what I mean?
I totally
and
agree.
have these conversations. So to me, like, more than meeting like a celebrity, it's like the conversations I've had with the minds that I've had them with is probably the thing that blows me away more. And the fact that they're famous and known and people listen to them now lets me know I wasn't crazy, and also just confirms that these people are as smart as I thought they were. And not only that, this is how lucky to wander into comedy and end up in late night discussions, debates, and shit talking sessions with like the group of people that I know.
That's the most valuable currency I think that we got going on this planet. Like one of the most valuable. I mean, being able to have those late night and to have them with that caliber of human being, like I was saying, that would be the main reason why. And something that I've been lucky enough being in radio and putting on comedy shows, and I've been at those tables late at night and hanging with comedians, and it's arguably one of my favorite, or if not my favorite thing to do on this planet. Just sit there and talk shit with some great minds. I just I absolutely appreciate that, you know, people like Rogan. It is funny, like you said, who could, I mean, you could call it, I remember when I first heard him, I was like, damn, who's this guy talking about DMT on fucking Opie and Anthony and like who talks about that? And you could kind of see how that could happen, but it does take you know, great minds to push us forward and change people's ideas of things. Like you said, why is Rogan out here making more sense than CNN? Why? But it is that it's happened that way. Yeah. And I'm really, really happy that people like him exist, you know, and you want to, those are the type of people that I want to be around in my life, you know, like, and I don't like being afraid to say what you want around somebody or express a thought. You can't have a thought without subscribing to it. Let's fucking talk to shit. And some people, you know, even some of them who are the closest to you, you bring up one thing, and if they don't agree with it, it's like DEFCON 3, and you're like, man, what kind of life is this to lead? That's probably arguably with comedians. It's like you can share ideas.
We use our humor to discuss everything. And then if somebody got mad, you made fun of them for getting mad. So then they would feel stupid, and they'd have to come back to the discussion table and the debate table. And then more things get done. Because the main thing is comedy, and being funny, and then some of the side effects is you learn some shit.
You know, I love it, dude. I love it.
And then you brought up Bill Hicks, and I talked about the Governor's Comedy Club, which sometimes I don't give enough props to. Like, that was my home club in Long Island, the first place I ever went on. But you know, like when I was a kid in comedy, I saw Bill Hicks perform at Governor's on the weekend. And you know, so I can say I've seen Bill Hicks, Sam Kinison. Like, I saw so many people that you'd have to, like, I think I saw Sam Kinison at Jimmy's Comedy Alley in Queens. And it's just that because I did mics at those places, you know, I was able, like, the funny thing about comedy is, like, the Comedy Store, it's not open right now. It's open this week, and I don't know when this podcast is going up. But if you start comedy, like, everybody's looking for an in into Hollywood or whatever. Say you're just trying to get an into Hollywood. If you're an open micer and you're doing comedy, you could talk to come to the Comedy Store, get in for free to a place that people are paying to get into, and end up talking to and hanging out with all night on a regular basis, like some of the greatest comics in the history of comedy, just as an open micer. You know what I mean? Like somebody a year in, where
they're hanging out with Ron White and fucking Joe in the corner.
And that's the crazy funny thing about comedy. It's like once you say, "All right, I'm gonna take the chance to look like stupid on stage and bomb," you might bomb, and you might not be good for a while, but it puts you in great company to learn how to be better as a human being and as a comic. Just because you took the chance to look stupid.
Oh, so huge, dude. That is one of the biggest. I tell everybody I can, like, don't be afraid to look stupid or make that mistake, man. Like, you'll be on the other side of that. Comfortability is often where you find that life starts to begin. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, dude. Before we get you out of here, I got a couple things I want to talk to you about. One of which is sports.
We've got too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to keep our composure. Playoffs?
Can't do it.
Hello?
All right. So I know that you're a big soccer guy. Have you really gotten into any of the American sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big Giants fan, and like any New York team, you know, and people hate when you root for all the New York teams, but I do what I want to do. And and I followed basketball from the moment I got here, and I have the soccer podcast and other stuff, so I have to pay more attention to soccer now. I used to, remember when ESPN first started, you'd watch it like 3-4 times a day, the same episode of Sports Center.
All day, it's on the back of the screen.
Yeah. And I used to listen to sports radio, driving to gigs, on the way back from gigs. So I don't do that as much anymore, but, definitely more soccer focused right now.
What's the name of the podcast again?
Soccer Comic Rant. And we talk about the Premier League and stuff that's going on in Europe. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I want to ask you. So, like, I'm getting into Inter Miami CF a little bit. I haven't been to a game yet, but it's on my to-do list. The World Cup is huge in South Florida. I think like Broward and Dade County are the highest viewing counties in the entire country for the World Cup. And so I'm always into that, all about that. I love playing FIFA. But outside of that, like, I really don't know shit. Like, tell like a little soccer pup like me, like, which leagues, teams, and players I could get into outside of like the MLS. I wanted to get into like all that Real Madrid shit. I don't even know where the fuck to start.
Well, just take try the Premier League. It's the best league right now. Everything is cyclical, but right now the Premier League is the best league. Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, legends have played for them. Like Ronaldo played for Manchester United before he went to Real Madrid, which is in the Spanish league. So the Premier League comes on NBC Sports on the weekend. There's games. It's usually one game Friday, and you have to get up early in the morning on Saturday and Sunday to see games on NBC, NBC Sport, and Peacock.
Yeah, I got that.
And you could like just start watching the games, and your heart will tell you what team is your team. And
Copy that.
Once you get into your team, you start like finding out the history, learning more about them, learning the players, and just getting into the whole lifestyle. And it's a soap opera. It's a game with a soap opera attached.
Dude, I love that you said that shit, bro. I was trying to say that, like, explain this shit to my girl, and obviously she understands, but like that, it's like there's real life drama. You pick and choose, like the coach. It's like replace like your favorite drama with like the coach and or the player, the QB, and then but that's all real life, and you have this thing that you can follow and pick your favorite.
Because in soap operas, they have the character that got killed, right?
Yeah.
And then a few seasons later, that person is back alive. It was a dream. They didn't really die, or they are dead, and this is a dream, and the dream lasts a season. Like in soccer, you'll have the coach, and he gets fired, and then few seasons later, they're desperate and they bring him back, and he wasn't really dead, and he'll coach the team better than he did before. And there's the players that come and go, and players you hate because they want to leave your team and go to a better team, and they shit on your team, and it's just people hate each other, people love each other. Just it's all life right there. So it's not just the games. I probably spend more time listening to interviews, podcasts, and talk shows about soccer than
actually
the actual
watching the
game. Yeah, or just as much. Yeah.
Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Nah, people keep telling me about it. Even Aaron Brungard, who's a producer for the podcast that I do for All Things Comedy, he's watched it. He told me it was good. And I know he what's his name, won an Emmy.
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis, yeah. So I got to check it out.
No, it's good shit, dude. I think that you like it. It's I watched it with my girl, and we both really enjoyed it. Like it's something that you could watch with anybody as well. It's just like a good comedy, but it's basically revolves around this soccer team, and they come after the woman inherits the team from her ex-husband, and she's trying to tank it. So she gets this like kind of small time football coach from the US, flies him over to like take over the soccer team, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're obvious. It's good though. You enjoy it.
Right.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about sports is like something normally I do with people, because I don't always get to talk sports with my guests. So I'm like enjoying the fact that you get it. And this can come from any sport whatsoever, but give me your top 5 favorite athletes of all time. It doesn't have to be in a particular order or all from
it won't be.
Okay.
It won't be.
Give me your top 5, dude.
And my top 5 will probably be wrong, because this is some shit I just never really
thought
it's
about. It's about putting you on the spot a little bit. It doesn't have to be
so
perfect.
It's on the spot. So just off the top of the dome, improv wise, definitely Pele, Michael Jordan, Messi,
nice,
Muhammad Ali, Hagler, Sugar Ray. It just could. It's impossible. There's been so many great athletes. Like we're not even talking UFC. Gracie's, everybody else since then.
But your favorites, not just like the
but
best.
I just like a lot. They're all my favorites. I
hear you.
Like my life is being consumed by sports, I guess, up until like the last few years when I can only really focus on soccer. But I've just watched so much sports because I learned a lot from it, especially when I started doing comedy. I was trying to figure out, because comedy is so unpredictable. You go on stage, you don't know what the audience is going to be like that night, why they're going to like you, why they're not going to like you. You have no idea. You're just going up on stage, and it's and I used to play soccer, and you didn't know how to have a good game, especially when you're a young soccer player. Because your opponent, the weather, your teammates, you just didn't know how. And then watching other sports, and maybe I should have known this, but just watching Jordan, and I was like, why is he better than everybody else? Because like you have like Dominique Wilkins in the league, you have Barkley, Clyde the Glide Drexler. There were just so many great players, and he was just Akeem Alondron, Ewan. He was just better than them. And it just came down to the simplest thing, which is he would, and I hated Jordan when he played because I was a Knicks fan. So it came down to like, why is he winning and hitting these buzzer beaters over these guys?
And John Starks is walking away like, God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Charles Oakley.
And yeah. So, and it just came to like, he just put more time in. And then that's let me know how to get better at comedy. I was like, with all the unpredictable factors, the only thing you can count on getting right is yourself. and getting your shit together. And then you'll be able to deal with all these factors that you have no control over. And it's the same thing with and that's just a life lesson, period. So that's how you approach a marriage, a regular job, your family and your friends, or just prepare yourself as much for everything. So, I guess
Absolutely.
being consumed by sports most of my life, it did help and pay off. You know what I mean? I did learn some shit from it,
For sure, man. There's so many parallels in life
Mhm.
and with sports. Like you said, it's like you're like a tool that you're sharpening so you can be of better use in every aspect of your life rather than sitting there
Right.
dull, chopping away at things, wondering why the fuck
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not working out,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I like that, man. Very cool. And you took it and made it into life. I
Mhm.
like that. That's totally all right. What we're gonna do, we're gonna switch gears a little bit here. So I have this game. It's called Hater Hall of Fame. Obviously, I like to keep shit positive on the show, but
Mhm.
like, it's a reality that we all have these things inside of us. It's going to come out one way or another. It's up to us to find a positive way to get it out. Like we're talking about, like finding the best ways to deal with things. And we all have both good and bad. We have both wolves. Which one are you going to feed? All that good stuff. So, but I like to provide like a healthy platform for my guests to kind of express like what's pissing them off today, get it out of their system. It's like a exorcism sort of thing you can think of, but it's a little something we play called Hater Hall of Fame.
I hate you guys.
I hate you. I don't even know you.
You're tacky and I hate you.
All right, Ian, what's pissing you off today? It could be anything.
Oh, today I got to think about that. Like, there are things that piss me off, but I just woke up, so I didn't even get a chance to run into any obstacles today. You know what I mean?
Copy that.
And the only obstacle I'm going to run into after this is I'm going to try to get to the gym, and there's going to be a little bit of traffic. But the only thing that pisses me off is like, and we kind of brushed on it before, and it's an overall theme of like, we got to stop being greedy. We got to stop saying capitalism is the greatest thing ever. It could be if it was applied right. You can't have unlimitless capitalism because it limits a certain part of society. And especially when one part of society already has an advantage over the other, and they're telling the other part, oh, you gotta just work hard and blah, blah, blah. And you're just fucking lying and you're being dishonest. And we just gotta stop being greedy. I'm mad that people don't like love each other. I feel like even if it's a stranger, if we're all nice, like this, everybody's looking for an authority to fix the world, right? And when you do that, you ignore your own power. And if everybody, right, did their job, which would be simple, to be nice to the people that they encounter every day. If everybody does that, no matter where you are, whether you're in prison, you're on the streets, you're in a big corporation, you're in entertainment, or if you're just nice, if you're a boss and you're nice to your employees, and if your employees and you demand that they be nice to the people around them, then people have better days. And then that reflection of that better day will ripple into the other people that they run into throughout that week, that month, and just continuously would make the world just 100% a better place. So I'm mad that people don't realize how simple it is to fix the world. And I'm sure there's other complicated factors to it, but if you take the simplest approach, you can have at least a 50-60% change in the world easily if everybody did their job.
Rumpf, dude. I like that. Very
That's
nicely
that.
said. I like that
Yeah.
answer. All right, mental reps questionnaire. Here we go. It's like a lightning round, so you don't have to overthink it. Just a couple questions before we get you out of here.
Oh, that was supposed to be a fast answer?
What'd you say?
That was supposed to be a fast answer?
No. That was before the mental reps questionnaire. So these are, again, you can take as long as you need to answer.
I only got long answers.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just saying, don't feel like you overthink it, because you'll see there's like some of like on the spot sort of questions. You'll see.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Why so serious?
What's in the box?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Answer the question, Claire.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Is Darth Vader my father?
For real, B? I want answers.
Without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. It's time for the mental reps questionnaire.
All right, Ian. If you could meet anyone current or historical and spend the day picking their brain, who would it be?
Current or historical? Probably Hitler.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck were you thinking, bro?
I actually like that
Let
answer.
me try to talk you out of this.
Good call. All right, I like that. If you had one round trip ticket in a time machine, when and where would you go? When and where?
Well, it wouldn't be back to the 1800s, because I don't think I'd be welcome in the way that I thought I would like to be welcomed back there.
Unfortunately, I think you're very
So
correct.
it'd just be a trip to the future, so I can see what to invest in when I come back.
Good call. Good call. You can be in next Bezos, like, or Biff from Back to the Future or some shit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Get yourself an almanac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. If you could create a Woodstock type music festival featuring 5 musical acts from any era, who would they be? And then you can put in what order if you, again, that's it, putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the names of the people that are just on my mind right now. You know,
Okay.
so I'm gonna miss out a lot of people. This is the type of answer to a question that gets you hate in the comments. So this is it's thanks for setting me up.
You're welcome, dude.
I would say Drake right now.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Trying to think of, like, there's just so many great fucking musicians
Uh-huh.
and groups, you know, Beyonce, Bruno Mars,
Okay.
Electric Performer, and Prince.
Ah, dude, I had a feeling that was gonna come out just based off your other answers. I was like, this motherfucker's gonna say Prince. All right, I like that. I like, dude. That's
about 5.
That's a hell of a lineup right there, bro. That's a hell of a lineup. All right, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Just love, man. If I could just.
Oh,
just
dude, you're like a
emanate-
fucking Care
emanate
Bear,
love.
bro. What an answer! Dude. You're saying you're a Care Bear.
I just want to make people feel good when they're around me. If I could do
love
that
that.
all the time, you know, that's what other power is greater than that? You know what I mean?
I love that answer. I love that answer. In a world without writing or comedy, what's your dream job?
I have no idea. That from the moment that guy said that at the drive-through, I just never thought about anything else.
I love it. Soccer,
So
maybe?
that's how. Yeah, like before that, I wanted to be a soccer player. Like, it's funny, like at least I always knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
So the moment
You're ahead of the
dream
game.
of soccer was over, then that guy came up on the drive-through, and then that was the next thing. Like, there wasn't going to be a chance for me to make it in soccer. So then the guy came up on the drive-through, and then yeah.
All right, dude. I like that. What's some wisdom you can share with anyone listening who's trying to pursue their dreams working in stand-up or comedy?
Go hard, man. Have fun going hard. Immerse yourself. Don't half-ass it. It's just it's so competitive. You could make it, and be smart. You know, don't go hard, but be smart with how you go hard. You know, and the only thing that can stop you from making it is you. Like, everybody out there knows is famous. Like, as a comic, I knew him, and I knew him I think when you're on the outside, you're just looking at famous people, but I knew when they weren't famous, and it wasn't a guarantee that these people were going to be famous. we were just sitting outside on a sidewalk waiting to go up somewhere, and only had 5 minutes of material.
Love
and
that.
just look at everybody. So
It's gotta start somewhere. I love that. This is the last one from the questionnaire. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Probably what I just said earlier,
Yeah.
that's, about, about let's just be nice to everybody every day, and let's change, let's do our part, to make the world better. Yeah.
I love that, man. I love it. Hey, you feel good about it, dude? Like, you think we covered everything?
Yeah, we did it.
All right, dude. I got the quote of the week. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Charles Swindoll. You agree with that?
I agree with it, but maybe not the percentage, but I agree with it.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it's all perspective. Like, what's your perspective on this thing that just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then your perspective can change that thing, whether bad or good, into something better.
Dude, I gotta say, man, like, you just seem like an even keeled, level-headed dude, man. I really appreciate you. You're really one of the best, most, like I said, underrated comics in the country, but I obviously enjoy your comedy, but you're a great hangman, and I appreciate you coming on. I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope we get to chat again soon, dude.
All right, I'll be in Florida soon, so it's all good. Yeah.
Oh, dude, let me know, man. Like I said, I put on comedy shows. We'll get you up on stage, get you paid well. And I just had Jimmy Schubert on my comedy show like a week ago. You know Jimmy, right?
Yeah, Jimmy's a homie. Yeah, it's Comedy Store.
Yeah, dude. He was wearing his Comedy Store shirt up on my stage.
Yeah.
It was great.
And Jimmy's funny too. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Jimmy's hilarious, dude. I had him and Flip Schultz on the same. Flip Schultz.
Shit. Yeah, from way back.
Yeah, dude. He was a feature, and Jimmy headline for me just like a week ago. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So let me know when you come down, man. I'll be happy to put you up, and we'll fucking have a little chat again, sell some tickets and shit. It'll be fun. But I really appreciate you coming on today, man. I've been looking forward to this conversation, and it went great. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. I'm glad I was able to finally do it, man. Sorry.
Fuck,
about
dude,
the other
don't.
days. Yeah.
I get, bro, especially during this pandemic. I want to let everybody know, like, there's no fucking rush. We're going on your schedule. It's all good. I just like to, if I plan something and they have to back out, that kind of like fucks up my release of the podcast a little bit. So it's just like nailing.
Trying to keep a schedule.
Yeah. But that's about it, man. Other than that, it's not a big deal at all. Go check out Ian Edwards comic on all the social media, right? And Ian Edwards comedian.com.
Right.
All right, awesome.
For my website, yeah.
All right, man. You're in the Mental Reps family now, dude. You can come back anytime. I appreciate you, dude.
All right, fam. Good doing it with you, and I'll see you around, all right?
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, peace. What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and you're listening to the Mental Reps podcast with Brian Wright. Keep your head on